Monthly segment with Governor Dan McKee here at 5:30. We're going to talk a lot from the governor's approval rating to the Capitol Christmas tree to vaccines. And the governor joins us in studio. Governor, good to see you. Always appreciate you making time for us and the viewers.
Yeah, happy holidays.
So we lit up. We're going to keep this up for a while to talk about that Christmas tree outside. Yeah. But first, I want to talk to you about poll numbers. You know, obviously, it's a campaign season,
Sure.
and some recent polling that came out had you in kind of a challenging position. It had your likely contender, folks at 29%, you at 11%. What do you make of these numbers? What do you think the message is for some viewers? There's some numbers on the board there.
Yeah, so we take in consideration all the polls, and polling at this time of the year really doesn't impact what's going to happen in a primary, but we've had recent polls that have had me ahead of my opponents.
Right.
We've had polls that are 4 times larger in terms of percentages relative to approval ratings that have been recent as well. So I think you have to take into consideration all these things. I tell my supporters, don't be looking at the polls, look at the work that we're doing. And they understand that the work is very important and the polling is very subjective.
Is the Speaker of the House in or out? Because he doesn't really give a straight answer to anybody.
Well, I know that I've had conversations with the Speaker and said that if I'm running, he's not running. I haven't heard anything different.
Okay.
I think that you can take him for his word. I do until I would hear anything different.
When you see numbers like that, because we get numbers here on television too, when the numbers are low, everyone's like, what are we going to do? How are we going to fix it? Fortunately, we don't have that problem here. But when it comes to you, do you look at it and say, you know what, I need to be tougher on Washington Bridge because it's affecting a lot of people, or I need to be tougher with energy rates, or is there something you think that you could do better to perhaps bring the people around?
Well, I think that we got to continue to communicate what we're getting done, right?
Yeah.
How we're helping families with their kids, how we're helping families with their earnings, how we're keeping people healthy, how we're building things at a rate that we've never seen before. Our infrastructure is improving at a rapid speed, and our investments in our businesses is happening as well. Over 36,000 private sector jobs. So we got to keep on telling that story. And I just had a staff meeting with our cabinet saying, look, we can't let the noise of a campaign impact what we're getting done on behalf of the people in the state of Rhode Island.
All right, we're going to get to the tree now because I know that we maybe took a little bit of heat and we gave you some heat about the lighting of the Christmas tree. And I think it was the fact that so many trees are done in publicly, and it was on the night of the Rockefeller Center tree. Governor Healy had her tree outside, and it seemed like this started years ago because of protesters. And I'm wondering, is that still the reason? Because we do have confidence in the state police to manage, some of the people who want to make noise.
Well, for the last couple of years, certainly we responded to a disruption that really distracted from the celebration, and kids were very taken back by that. 7, 6, 7, 5, 6-year-old kids don't need the disruption. So we've been having a private party for the kids that are in foster care, with the DCYF. It's incredibly successful. We're bringing Santa in, and it is a private because look, we're not going to use any young person in a media way to expose them, and I think that it's really been well. December 16th, you're welcome to an open house. We're going to have an open house. We got a beautiful outside tree that wasn't there when I showed up.
Right there behind
beautiful
us.
Outside tree. The place is lit up, and we're celebrating Christmas in a way that we're inviting families to come between 4:30 and 6. On December 16th, there'll be some nice hot chocolate. There'll be some music.
Will there ever be a public tree if you're governor? I mean, don't you at some point say, hey, listen, Healy has protesters. The mayor of New York has protesters. They're just managed. Like, why should everybody left out when just a few people are,
Well, that's why we're having an open house.
Okay.
We're having an open house. Come on down, Dan. You're more than welcome. We'll have a nice hot chocolate and a couple cookies and be good.
I want to get to a viewer question that was posted on Facebook today. If we could just move that up, our friends in the control room right there. It is from Norman Plant, who says, when will the governor work on lowering the delivery charges on electric bills? The delivery charges are more than double what our actual usage of our energy, which is unfair to us. This is a big, big issue right now. What are you doing?
Major issue. And we need to make sure that the PUC follows my direction, right? There should be $150 million of relief for ratepayers right now in the winter, this winter and next winter. We're going to keep on working to make that happen. But we're going to be presenting an affordability for all program, which we will be talking about energy costs. I think what the proposal that we're going to be putting in place is going to have a direct savings on an annual basis over many years, millions and millions of dollars.
Does anyone, and I realize the cost that they're incurring too, but does anyone ever say no to Rhode Island Energy? When they go up for rate hikes, it always is yes. When you know, originally they were going to help you out and then they kind of pull back. Are they hard to work with, or?
I think that it's time that we take a stand.
Yeah.
I think it's time that the Public Utility Commission does that as well. I'm on the record not only saying that we should be providing this $150 million, but we're also of relief over the next couple of winters. But we're also going to be proposing, I'm talking about serious tens of millions of dollars we're looking at every single charge on that bill, and it's time that we lower that cost.
Yeah, the delivery charges are a little bit of a challenging. You know, when you look at these cameras, you're talking to all of the voters, all of the people, and they want accountability, and it's affecting everyone. So I think they definitely want to see some action on that.
Well, and they're going to see it, and then we're going to make sure that we get the approvals that the ratepayers are looking for,
Great.
and they should get. And Rhode Island Energy has asked for a fairly large increase.
Yes.
That is going to be debated over the next several months. I've already put on a position that it is not the time to be raising utility rates in the state of Rhode Island.
I wanted to give you time to talk about some vaccines, because I know it's an issue that you care about. Tell us a little bit about what people need to know.
Well, I think the first thing they need to know is very similar to the COVID vaccines, where we had an advisory group right out of Washington start debating whether those were healthy or not. We know they are. We're going to follow, again, our local doctors, right? Dr. Larkin, who heads up our health department, our pediatrics committees. We know that they create safety. We know that in the situation of the hepatitis vaccine, that we're supporting that. We want people to know that if they want that vaccination, that the health insurance is going to cover it.
All right, and lastly, I'd like to say congratulations publicly on your grandchild.
Yes.
Patrick Daniel.
Patrick Daniel.
Say that again.
Patrick Daniel's a little over
Okay.
a month old, and we are just so blessed. And I want to wish everybody a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas as well, and to make sure that we're counting our blessings each and every day. I know our family does, and I hope everybody else does as well.
Kevin, I appreciate that. Happy holidays to you and yours as well.
Yeah.